Yo, yo, yo. It's the No Pigeon Podcast with your host, Yucca. Whew. It's not even that early here, but I woke up late. You know what I mean? We snowed in, basically. Well, not really, but I don't got winter tires. I got rear-wheel drive. I refuse to drive in this shit. So, for those of y'all who don't know, I am a Star Trek fan. I love Star Trek very much. Not that shit, but I love like the Next Gen, Voyager, and DS9, right? Those are my shit right there. I don't like the new Trek because it's trash, right? But I just got word from a video clip thumbnail that I just seen. It might be clickbait, but it says Avery Brooks willing to return to the role of Sisko. Avery, for y'all who don't know Avery Brooks, Captain Benjamin Sisko, the Emissary, right? He was intense, but you know, for me, a great Starfleet captain, fuck all the training, the physical training. He had to have gone to Juilliard, right? That's what a great captain, or she had to have gone to Juilliard, right? Because they be having that. I don't know about Janeway. I don't know if she's a Juilliard, but like, you know what I'm talking about. Picard and Brooks, Sisko, they got that vibe, right? So let's take this in though. Okay, we get the point.
I want to talk about this article on Bounding into Comics, saying that Avery Brooks would be willing to return to the role of...
When shorties hear that I like Star Trek, they think I'm this guy, right?
Captain Sisko, if the opportunity to do so arose. Now, Deep Space Nine is my favourite Star Trek series, and Captain
DS9 was great. It was fucking great. I put my buddy on. I put Slug onto Voyager, and he loved it. He loved Voyager, and he's like, I don't even want to watch DS9 because Voyager's too great. Nothing's gonna compare. And then he watched DS9. He was like, he didn't like Quark at first, right? And he was like, man, I kind of fuck with Quark now because Quark is a slimy, but he stands on his principles. He stands on his sliminess like a typical Ferengi, right?
Sisko was and is my favourite captain. I thought he was brilliant. Avery Brooks just played it superb, especially in the later series.
You thought, I think.
When the hair came off and the beard arrived. Now, let's have a look at the article of this. It says, Deep Space Nine actor Avery Brooks willing to return to the role of Captain Sisko. Star Trek Deep Space Nine actor Cedric Clifton had revealed his co-star Avery Brooks is willing and ready to return to the role of Captain Sisko.
Please do, but not with this new age woke Star Trek. You know, that's one thing I can't stand is too this woke mafia. They're always trying to make things more woke. If y'all don't know, Star Trek has always been a progressive show. It's always been the most progressive show on television. So to treat it like it needs change and it needs some kind of adjustment is bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, you know? Because this is in the early 90s. They had a black captain, a black head, a security, whatever, Worf. I forgot his role, right? But it's like security officer or something like that, security chief or something like that. Well, and Odo, right? But he was like the head of the promenade, and then he had a black son, black girlfriend, right? Like it. His best friend was a woman, right? Who was also a super warrior. She fought with she politicked with the Ferengi. She fought with the Klingons. Like, come on now, right? How much more woke do you need to get, right? But no, they need to further woke it
for future Star Trek adventure. Lofton, who played Captain Sisko's son Jake Sisko during his tenure on Deep Space Nine, wrote in news on a recent livestream held between YouTube channel Orville Nation and The Seventh Rule, a Star Trek-centric podcast starring himself, fellow Deep Space Nine actor Aaron Eisenberg, who played Nog.
Rest in peace, Aaron Eisenberg. Rest in peace. He was in Voyager too. He was one of them, them red motherfuckers in the Delta Quadrant. There was that red tribe. He was one of them kids too. He was a kid that got caught. And he was super apprehensive and stuff. And then homeboy's like, yeah, man, we just humans, man. We good, man. We Starfleet, man. I got your back. Don't worry, man. You know?
And host producer Ryan T. Husk. During the live stream, as transcribed by Geek Odyssey's Mike Sutton, when the topic of conversation turned to Brooks' nearly 20-year absence from acting, Lofton asserted it was a result of Brooks kind of being discriminated against.
For what? Discriminated for what, though? This guy was the captain, the main character on a TV show, on a profoundly groundbreaking, amazing TV show, too.
I think it needs to be said because this is an important time we're living in,
I hope
where we're becoming socially aware of the types of things that are regressive in society, said Lofton. Things that are racial, sexual, and all kinds.
Don't do this shit, Lofton. Don't do this shit, Sirac. Don't say things that's racial, sexual. He was the captain. You were the son of the captain. Like, come on now, man. Y'all were some of the main characters on a top TV show. Don't tell me about this and that. Like, I just hate that shit.
Kind of revolutions we are having in thought and acceptance of people. To that end, Lofton noted that while Brooks currently appears to have no agent, the actor would definitely be interested in returning to Star Trek universe if the opportunity presented itself. To say that he's not willing to act is kind of ridiculous, declared Lofton. There's no question that he's willing. Hopefully, CBS will approach Brooks to discuss his return in the near future, as according to a report from Sutton, published last October, the network is considering reviving Deep Space Nine for an upcoming Paramount Plus channel. The 2021 rebranding of CBS All Access. What adventures do you think Sisko will embark on if Brooks returns to the role?
What type of adventures he would have? Let's see. He's probably gonna get smacked out by a transgender. You know what I mean? On some transgender planet where who knows what the fuck they're gonna come up with? Because the Discovery, I try to give Discovery a chance, you know. And then apparently what they try to do is make white men extinct on that show, and then the only white men on that show were bad people. Or like two-faced people, which is, it's fucking ridiculous to me. It really is, right? So I hope they don't put him on Discovery because that show was trash. I try to give it so many chances. I watched up into mid-season 3, and I was even like debating with motherfuckers, like, just be happy. Just be happy there's a new Star Trek. But it was just too cringe. It was just too much. I'm so tired of this woke shit. It's ruining everything. It's ruining every classic show that we used to love. We loved it for a reason, not for politics, right? It was already progressive. The show was already progressive. Like, godly, they're socialists. You know what I mean? They look down on the Ferengi who are capitalists, right? They don't even have currency anymore. Like, how much more progressive do you want to get?
Now, like I've already said, Deep Space Nine is my absolute favourite Star Trek show. It had a slow start, but from the end of Series 2, it just kept getting better and better and had a fantastic ending. It was a satisfying ending to the show. It rounded off the Dominion War.
I don't know about satisfying. Like, we wanted to see Sisko come back. We wanted to see the return of Captain Sisko. So I don't know how satisfying that was. And his girl, wasn't Cassidy Yates? She was pregnant too. Cassidy was pregnant. How you gonna leave? You perpetuating stereotypes. You gonna leave this woman without a father? Come on now.
The war between the Prophets and the Pirates. And after the fight between Sisko and Dukat, Sisko went to live with the Prophets. So if he does come back to the role, it would mean they would have to bring him back from living with the Prophets to being corporeal again. Would it take place on Deep Space Nine? I'd like to think so. I mean, it wouldn't.
Time is linear for humans. Time is linear.
I think it would still have to deal with Bajor, as that was a big premise of Deep Space Nine.
Bajor, not Bajor.
Bajor and a relationship to their gods, the Prophets. Now, a little while ago, I would have been super excited for this. Like I said,
Me too. I would have been super excited too. Now I'm skeptical because you don't know what they're going to do.
Brooks, Captain Sisko, my favourite Star Trek captain in my favourite Star Trek series. But after seeing how they treated the character of Picard when they brought him back for the series...
What you mean they threatened him? What did they do? I need to know about this. If anyone knows, please write in the comments because, you know what I'm saying? I keep my distance from these new treks. I watched the first season of Picard, but, you know, it's not as easy to get into as the old school Trek, right? But if anyone knows what he's talking about and can expound on it, please write in the comments. You know, I'd greatly appreciate that.
I kind of hope this doesn't happen because I wouldn't like to see Sisko's character be dealt with the same way. Now, obviously, it is just rumour that there might be being...
How could they, though? How could they woke Picard? Like, what are they going to do? Make him black? I mean, his best friend on the show, old man, was in a sense a transgender. You know what I mean? A woman who used to be a man, who used to be a woman, who used to be a man, who used to be a woman, who used to be a man, like typical of them nowadays. You know what I mean? They be switching back and forth. You know what I mean? That's why they got the non-binaries and the 1,000 pronouns and shit. So
bringing him back, and it is just saying he is willing if the opportunity does return. But the Picard we got back in the Picard series wasn't the same character that we left.
Nah, just like Patrick Stewart in the last Wolverine series movie too, right? It wasn't the same. Same thing with Wolverine. They were just kind of. But Picard, Patrick Stewart is getting old, right? Like from the first season of Picard, I noticed he was feeble. He don't even try to fight. Like some shit break off, and he's just like, I'm gonna sit down, man. I'm gonna let y'all handle this, right? Which whatever, rightfully so. He's old, but I mean he ain't beast mode like Sylvester Stallone in Tulsa King, right? But I still got mad love for Patrick Stewart. He's an amazing actor, right? He really is. He's great. Even though he plays the same character in every movie, he's fucking amazing at it.
The Next Generation series and films with. And I just don't want the same thing to happen to Captain Sisko. Now, the Picard series, I wasn't a fan of. I barely made it to the end of 10 episodes. Mm-hmm. And I very much doubt I'll be back for series 2.
Me and you both,
but
brother.
I just feel that if they do bring him back, it needs to be brought back in the light of how he was in Deep Space Nine and not.
So, just to pause it again, I have to tell homeboy. So, one large reason for why Star Trek ain't gonna be like it used to be is because back in the day they had like 25 episodes a season, right? They had so many episodes that sometimes they ran out of shit to talk about, so they would end up on a planet. They'd end up on Risa or something, and they just kind of bullshitting their way through Risa, right? But them chill bullshitting episodes were actually great, right? It wasn't just condensed. Now everything is 8 to 10 episodes, maybe 13, right? And they just try to condense all the information in these short amount of episodes, and it's just not the same. It's not the same. It was something you could take in, but then you could also just kind of lay back and just we on episode 17 of this and that. Nothing's really popping off. Ain't no wars. Ain't no this. They just on Risa chilling. You know what I mean? But that's a big part of it, right? But I kind of take that back because the Orville managed to bring back that essence of Star Trek, and they only have like 10 episodes of season 2, right? So I kind of have to backtrack on that, but I definitely think it is a factor. It's definitely a factor.
Not some form of reimagined version of him not being as badass as he was. I mean, Sisko was fantastic. I mean, Deep Space Nine, he didn't mess with Captain Sisko, and if we brought him back, I'd like him to still be that. His badass, no-nonsense
What does it all
mean? Not to break the rules when they needed to. I mean, that was shown many times throughout the series.
Moogie.
But what do you guys think? Would you like to see Avery Brooks return to the role?
I mean, yes, I would, but I want 90s Sisko. You know what I mean? That's what I want. I want Avery Brooks as 90s Sisko. You know what I mean? So...
Sisko, would you like to see Deep Space Nine get a revival in some way? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. And that's all from me.
Yeah, should I let my thoughts be known in the comments? I'm gonna let my thoughts be known in the comments. What should I say? Who this dude? What's his name? Geek T? Alright, let's see. Let me read some of these comments first. Would love to see Avery back in Trek. Such an amazing actor and loved watching Sisko's character evolve through the seasons. Amen. I hope to have him back and finish the character's journey playing baseball with Cassidy Yates, Jake, and his daughter. Was it a daughter? I thought it was going to be a son. Love the Sisko family. R.I.P. Brock Peters. Who's Brock Peters? Which one Brock Peters? Who died? Can y'all tell me who died? Brock Peters. Oh, Pop Dukes. Pops was in Next Gen too. No, he was in one of the movies. He was one of the Next Gen movies, right? They needed to make movies for Voyager and DS9. That's unfortunate that they didn't, but whatever. As long as J.J. Abrams and Alex Kurtzman are kept far, far away from the project and Sisko isn't disrespected like Picard, and it is a real Star Trek story with humanity in heart, and it isn't set in the stupid-ass Kelvin timeline and has nothing to do with that new Star Trek dumpster fire that shall not be named, I would love to see the greatest captain back on screen. DS9 is the best Star Trek there is. Hopefully there would be others actors from DS9, Voyager, and even TNG involved. You know who probably won't be on there? I would love for her to be on there, but is what's her name? Oh man, what was her name again? Godly, I forget her name. But she probably wouldn't be on there because I heard she left because Avery was too intense. What does it all mean? He just yelling in everybody's face, right? Which kills me. It would fucking kill me, right? He was a classic overactor, I think, in my opinion. But I still loved it, right? Because you know, in a show with aliens and all kinds of different characters, everyone was kind of overactors, right? But you know, they are gonna ruin it. But what a commenter. Nice video, bruh. I agree. I don't even know what to say to this motherfucker. I'm just doing this for y'all, man. I agree. No, I'm not gonna say it. Nice video, bruh. Unfortunately, with the way Trek has gone, it will ultimately become woke garbage. Garbage. So don't get your hopes up. Amen. Tabernacle Church. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. Please don't shoot the messenger. Come to death row. No pigeons. Podcast. Holla. I feel like that was too much. But fuck it. I already clicked send. All right, y'all. Anyways, this is another episode with the No Pigeons podcast. You know, last couple videos came in. I had a couple comments and shit. I appreciate it. You know, I'm just starting from the ground up. But yeah, hopefully some Trekkies that aren't really into this woke nonsense. Because I know there are some, unfortunately, but I know a lot aren't. So, hey, and we all kind of progressive in our own way too, right? But it's because, I mean, like, let's be real. We're Star Trek fans, right? But this new nonsense has gotten out of control. It's gotten out of fucking control, and it's embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for the people that are behind it. You see Henry Cavill leaving The Witcher and Superman because they're just too woke. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. These shows have become politics, you know, and unrealistic. You got 4'11" women beating the shit out of 6'5" men. Like, this shit is nonsense now, right? I mean, they did that in DS9 too, but and Voyager and all them other ones too. Like, yeah, okay, cool. Like, what was her name? Commander Yar. What was her name in Next Gen? Right, she was whooping some ass too. But hey, I guess we accepted it in our time, but now it's gotten too much. But anyways, take care, y'all. Like and subscribe, and please percolate in the comments, please. Peace.